were caused by various stakeholders urging the federal government to resolve the farmer-herder conflict in the past. The government launched the National Livestock Transformation Plan, aiming to modernize livestock production by encouraging ranching instead of open grazing. Contrary to reports that circulated in media outlets last week, the federal government clarified that it has not imposed a nationwide ban on open grazing, stating instead that the country is undergoing a gradual transition toward modern ranching systems. Joining us on this show to discuss the move by the federal government to transition from open grazing to modern ranching systems, and if this will be a lasting solution to the farmer-herder conflict, is Baba Ngelzwrma, President, Miyetti Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN. Thank you very much for just joining us, President MACBAN.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, very good. The issue is about open grazing and then cattle ranching. Now, what is your response to the federal government saying what is being planned is a transition and not a ban on open grazing? But take along with that the concern of many Nigerians that open grazing is one of the biggest threats to national security, and what is responsible for conflicts between herders and farmers, with allegations, particularly in the Middle Belt and elsewhere, all the way down south, that members of your association are the ones instigating conflict because of this, what looks like an open movement of cattle from one part of the country to the other, whereas ranching will probably be the solution.
Hello, good morning, everybody. As you rightly said, we also believe at the end, ranching is going to be the only solution because settlement of the pastoralists is what is required to be done. But this is a way of life of people that you want to change, and involving is the only source of livelihood they rely on. So it has to be a gradual process. We believe this open grazing will not last long, even in the far northern part of the country where the pastoralists think they belong, because of the growing population, effects of climate change that always affecting the environment, the land, and what have you. So with these factors, one has to accept that open grazing is not going to be sustained any longer because land doesn't increase against a population that keeps on increasing on daily basis. And climate change effects are there, very clear. Desert encroaching fast into the hinterland, affecting production of crops, changing the rainfall pattern, grass that are being consumed by the cow before now are no longer there in the forest because they have given way to unpalatable ones that are not being consumed by the cow. Water is not there. All the dams that existed in the grazing reserves are all silted. So dams are no longer there. Even if they are there, because of the changing rainfall pattern, we don't get the volume of water we used to get before this time. So dams are also affected. With these things and the increase in population, as I have earlier said, we just have to have a model of settlement that suits the peculiarities of the pastoralists we have in the country, get them settled down in a place under whatever model of ranching, for us to have peace at least, for us to come over this lingering farmer-herder conflict that has existed for decades in this country. So this is what we have been doing. We have been working with the ministry. I was with the minister last week in Yola when we went to attend the National Livestock Development Council, where he was misrepresented as saying open grazing is banned. The minister has never said open grazing is bad. Whoever reported that misconceived or misrepresented the minister cleared, because I was there. I have attended the activity from beginning to the end. So, you see, but at the end, we just have to stop open grazing for even the pastoralists to have the opportunity of enjoying amenities, resources, just like any other citizen. The practice now is them roaming the wild, looking for free pasture, living in vulnerable areas, open for attacks by all sorts of things. And today we feel the pastoralists are the worst affected by this crisis. But you see, because of misunderstanding of the public think any pastoralist is a criminal in this country, and far away from that. As far as we are concerned from our own perspective, they are the worst affected by this crisis. So settlement is going to be, it has to be the lasting solution to solve this problem.
Your point is duly noted. Let's unpack some of this that you've said, because this is the crux of a big part of the issue. When you look at the narrative over the past few years, even up until this year, there has been advocacy for MACBAN to be declared a terrorist organization. And MACBAN has consistently stated that, they are not affiliated with some splinter groups that have gone on to become militarized. What is MACBAN doing to demilitarize your former members or your current members who feel they need protection? What are you doing about it? Because it seems a growing number continue to militarize, and in doing so have created a reputation for harassing, abusing, and in essence terrorizing farmers. What stance and what methodology are you using to rein in your members?
First of all, I would like you and the public to understand the dynamics of this crisis clearly. Before I go to that, I want to tell you and I want to tell the public that MACBAN does not represent any criminal. We are never a criminal group. We are an association that was established duly registered in 1986, to be precise, on 12th of February 1986. And MACBAN was registered by General John Shagaya when he was the Minister of Internal Affairs, a Christian from Plateau State. He was the one who gave MACBAN registration. And His Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto is the Chairman Board of Trustees of MACBAN. So we never represent any criminality in this country. We are not a criminal group. And I want to make it clear to the public to know that MACBAN is not the only pastoralist group that exists in the country. We have a lot of them, ranging from 20 to about 30 of pastoralist groups that all have members in this country. So, but because MACBAN is the oldest, is the well-structured, is the only democratic group of pastoralists we have in the country, that is why every pastoralist identifies with us. And that is why the entire public think MACBAN has members, all the pastoralists are members of MACBAN. All the pastoralists are never members of MACBAN, because we have a number of other pastoralist groups that also have members. But that is not the issue. This crisis, the dynamics of this crisis have to be well understood before any solution can be proffered. Because, you see, the pastoralists we have in the country are those that are practicing pastoralism, roaming the wild, looking for prey pasture for the herds as the only solution they have to survive. They have to do to survive, because there has never been any attempt to modernize the trade for them. So they were not educated on how to modernize. So they are doing the only thing they are doing as the only solution they have to do for the animal to survive. And you know, they are the animals, so they are survival defense.
If I may just interject, very quickly, before my colleague comes in to ask you a question, the calls for Macban to be designated a terrorist group are not calls for herders to be designated as terrorists. They are specific calls for Macban specific. Now, I want you to speak to that. I know you can't speak for every herder in Nigeria. It's impossible. But the calls directed to you specifically, because in the past you have said that, yes, there have been some splinter groups who have left your association. So speak to that, please.
You see, Macban cannot be a criminal group. Whoever is trying to designate Macban as a criminal group does not understand anything about Macban. Macban has been engaging with, you said, USAID for years. Macban has been engaging with organizations like Search for Common Ground, Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, Interfaith Mediation Center, Search for Common Ground. We have been engaging with these international IPs for years on how to mitigate conflict between farmers, on how to modernize the livestock production system. Macban leadership visited so many countries, Ethiopia, AU, attending conflicts on mitigation, on how to mitigate conflicts, on how to modernize the livestock production system. We have interfaced with so many organizations within and outside the country. Go to the Institute of Peace and Conflict Resolution in Nigeria. You have a lot of documents presented by Macban on how to mitigate conflict between the farmers and the herders. We have been engaging with the security agencies. We lost about 8 of our state chairmen as a result of bandits' attack. Just this year alone, we lost a chairman in Kwara, in Ilorin. He was followed to his house and killed by bandits, whom we believe they are some of the Fulani criminals. Yes. We lost a chairman in Katsina. He was assassinated in his house in Mairana. His wife and daughter taken away by the bandits. We could just quickly interject here, just because we are running out of time. So you see, I can tell you more and more of the attacks Macban members have been faced from these criminals. Just last year,
but before you do that, if I could just come in and ask this question, if I could just ask this question here.
Very important, very important for it. I am giving you the reasons why we cannot be designated as a criminal group. Because whoever is doing it out of misunderstanding. Well, notwithstanding, however, we have submitted a document, we have submitted a letter to Honorable Christopher Smith, the member who sponsored that bill, to the U.S. Congress. And just this year, I had 4 meetings at the U.S. Embassy.
Okay, let's take a side step away from security, because these allegations will continue. These allegations will continue, that perhaps even when we're looking at cross-border crises, that it is under the purview of people disguising themselves as herders that they're able to continue their issues. But I do want to ask you a question, just separate from that. At the very beginning of this conversation, you talked about the importance it was for people to understand that there wasn't an outright ban on open grazing, that yes, you accept that ranching needs to be the goal that your association moves towards. But if we're talking about pastoralists, many of whom are low income, and you're looking at ranching, you can clearly understand that this is something that's going to take a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of dedication. How do you envision this happening? How do you propose that these ranches are created without government support?
Before this time, we never had a livestock ministry. We never had an institution solely dedicated. Can I continue?
Yes, of course, go ahead.
Before this time, we never had an institution solely dedicated to solve the problem of pastoralists in this country. All these years, all these decades, pastoral issues are dedicated under a mere department in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. But with the coming of this administration, we now have a ministry, a whole institution dedicated for solving the problem of not only herders, for solving the problem of livestock in the country. And not only that, after the creation, we are happy to tell the public that today, over 20 states are keen in to also provide similar ministries in their respective states. Just imagine the huge investment that is coming into it now. With this, with the good intention of the government of the day, we are hoping this settlement of a thing will be a thing of the past, because we have been working closely with the minister. We have been to a grazing reserve. We have just some few months back. We have been to Benue, where I spent 2 days with the minister to see how we can solve this problem of farmer-herder conflict. To Plateau, we were in so many states. We have been to Borno State. We are in so many states trying to understand the dynamics, trying to see what best model can be adopted for the pastoralists to be settled. We now have a lot of hope that with this administration, this issue of farmer-herder conflict will come to an end, because so many things are taking place. Right now that I speak to you, I am in Enugu, together with the minister, working with the Southeast government to see how we can create understanding, how we can broker understanding between the farmers and herders, how we can manage the situation, how we can turn it as a great opportunity for all of us to enjoy.
President Miyetti, now, how far is the distance between Magban and politics? Because, I mean, this whole thing, just to breed cattle, and there's so much politics involved in it. And how much level of orientation do you have for your members? Very briefly. Do they even go through any orientation before they begin to graze from north to south, south to north?
Well, first of all, you have to know that we are in political era, so everything is politics now. And there is no how you can do without politics. No, it's never political, but we are under a political era. So politics cannot be ruled out in anything that you do, including you who is working in the Arise TV television headquarters now. You are under politics. You play politics in one way or the other. So politics is everywhere because we are under a democratically elected administration. We are under politics. We are not under military. So politics is everywhere. On the issue of
yes, please land on your point.
On the issue of what was the other point that you raised apart from the politics?
Yeah, do they have to carry guns?
Orientation. This is that much that an association can do. We are never a security agency. We are never a government. So the only thing that one will expect us to do is to orient our members, is to create awareness on our members, to know that, to embrace change, to know that the population is increasing and it will continue to increase again, a land that doesn't increase. They just have to settle in one place. We have done we have worked with some of private sector organizations like L&Z in Kano. We worked with L&Z in Kano. Go to the outskirts in of Kano, Chiromawa and the other areas of Kano State. You will see the pastoralists coexisting peacefully with the farmers because of just milk collection, because L&Z is of taking their milk. Yes. Because he's of taking their milk regularly, they decided to be sedentary. They sat in one place. The company is always collecting their milk, and he has increased just 20 naira on the price of a liter for any family that has agreed to enroll his son into the community school. And they have already enrolled their children into the community school. Today we are celebrating the graduation of those children from primary to secondary school.
Of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria. The conversation will continue. Thank you for joining us.